ladies and gents, welcome to Crypto Chat UK. Got loads to talk about today. Always got loads to talk about. Always got loads of research I should be doing. To be honest, if I had every day free to do a video, it would be absolutely awesome because there's so much information, so much going on in the blockchain cryptocurrency world. It's absolutely bananas. I've tried to pick out some information that really you guys should know about. Hopefully, if you haven't heard it, it's good for you. If you have heard it, I'll give you some extra angles on it, a bit more detail. I'll probably welcome to the future. This is one of the reasons I put this on is because there's been a massive drop in the last 24 hours. And, you know, to be honest, we're going to have a look at it in a sec. It really doesn't matter. I mean, I think perhaps this year might have been a day trader's dream. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think as far as day traders go, I think if they do it right, they could have perhaps and have made a lot of money. And I do look at a few people online. I do know a couple of people who do day trading. I stay away from it. I always advise people to stay away from it. But I think if you are going to do it, I'm going to dabble a little bit in the future. I'm still a long-term investor. That's what I do. But I might have a little dabble bit more with day trading at some point. But for me, it's long-term. So the reason I put well to the future is because it is a long-term thing. What it is now, the ups and downs now, although we can get a bit excited either way, we can get a bit giddy when it's going up, we get a bit miserable when it goes down. It really doesn't make much difference at the moment. Now, don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor, so this is just my own opinion from my own research and my own thoughts on it. So whatever you're going to do with cryptos, whatever you're going to do with, I've just got a little thing popped up here, whatever you're going to do with anything to do with the blockchain, then obviously do your own research first. Come to me, come to other people on YouTube, go to a specialist online, do your research on any sites, websites, people you talk to. Really go through it and make sure you're investing correctly, of course. The correct cryptos and etc. But anyway, let's have a look at the market first because there's a few things I want to go through. One of the things that I want to go through is the current market, which is now at the moment. I want to go through Bitcoin's value. There's an article about Bitcoin's value. There's another one about ETFs I want to briefly go through, and Internet of Things. Maybe a couple of things I want to mention. Okay, so just a quick look at the market now. Let's have a quick look. So currently 202 billion. If we click on that quickly, we'll very quickly click on that. I think it went up to about 230 or 240 billion if we click on 7 days. So let's have a look at the total market capitalization over the last 7 days and how it's been going. As long as my computer will work and speeds up a little bit, we'll be all right. Okay. If you look now, Bitcoin's dominance is currently at 54% or 54.8%. If you look at this, we had a bit of a steady one. So, what was it? A little less than a week ago. So it was last Thursday, or just a week ago. So last Thursday, it was continually going up, nice gradually, and did, I think, just touched 240 billion at some point. Now then, it's come to yesterday, and it had a severe drop. Okay, real big drop, and it's been technically dropping ever since. Okay, so people trying to find the bottom and so forth. So we've got to keep an eye on that. That's why one of the reasons I say it's probably great for day traders. But also, if you wanted to pick up some cheap deals, I think it's great for that as well. Resecuring or securing a position even more so what you've got in some that you're really confident in. And I've said this before, perhaps getting involved in ones that you wanted, but you thought had gone too high. Probably now's the time. If you look, basically reds across the board almost. You know, there's not pretty much any growth. I mean, Dogecoin, you know, had a little bit of growth in the last 24 hours, but in general, it's flatlined almost. There is a lot of things going on here. So, if you find the bottom and you want to make some extra cash, make some extra gains, should I say, then this is probably the time to do it as far as I'm concerned. There's going to be a point. If you use the RSI index, you're probably going to see where the oversold is. I don't think it takes a genius to realise. You can pretty much work out the percentages quite easily. That, I mean, in my opinion, it's oversold already anyway, but and I may jump on and buy some. But you can probably get some bargains now. We were looking at XRP breaking the 34 cents barrier. Kind of didn't do what we thought it might do. So at the moment it's dropped. So can it break the resistance levels in the future? Let's see what happens. Obviously there's some change in that now. If you look, Stella's at 19 cents and so forth. Bitcoin was up to about $7,400 or thereabouts, and is now 6,400. So we kind of were heading back. I don't think we're going to carry on, but who knows? We're heading back to the 6,000 resistance level, or or supporting level there, should I say, and see what we go from there. Hopefully, it won't go down that far now. We'll continue to grow, or we'll get some growth and get some gains. But keep an eye on the market in there. Looking good, I think, for the future. Certainly looking good if you want to buy some bargains. I think this is around about the right time, in my opinion. We'll see how it goes, though. Okay, so I want to mention some things quickly. One of the things I want to mention is this. It's on Marxism and the value of Bitcoin. I'll try and go through this quickly, but there's quite a few things I want to look at. So, what is Bitcoin worth? That should seem, or would seem, fairly easy question. Answerable by simply checking the top button on this page, or the page we've just seen, which is CoinMarketCap. But what gives it the value? That would seem to be on you ask. Okay, we're talking about the proof of work system here. So there are some for whom the answer to even this question appears simple. Bitcoin has value because there is cost in terms of processing power and energy usage to mine it. This is essentially Marx's labour theory of value. And the parallels are drawn in this P2P Foundation article. So this article says, Marx claims that everything has an intrinsic value created by the amount of work, effort, labour required to create it. So according to this, as long as the cost of mining increases, then the value of Bitcoin will continue to rise. Now, this isn't the key thing for the value, in my opinion. But anyway, let's have a read through. So, foolproof. The problem is that the labour theory of value is a complete fallacy. Whilst you may price something based on the amount of work it took to create, the actual value comes from something else entirely. There is a relationship between mining costs and the Bitcoin price, but it flows in the opposite direction. A higher price encourages more people to mine. More miners increase hash rate, increasing the difficulty of creating blocks, and in turn, increases the cost of this. So, some make comparison between Bitcoin and the characteristics which make gold and fiat valuable. There are 9 of these: scarcity, durability, portability, divisibility, easily recognized, easily stored, fungibility, hard to counterfeit, and obviously widely used. In many of these respects, Bitcoin seems like gold on steroids. I would definitely agree with that. A point often brought up by the Winkle Levy. But even though these characteristics can explain to some extent what might make a thing more or less valuable, there's one key word missing. Bitcoin, gold, so living proof, Bitcoin, gold, and that beautiful piece of handcrafted furniture which took 6 months to make all have one thing in common. They're worth nothing if nobody wants them. Their value comes from the desirability. It's a very good point. A price can be based on the value, but the value of something is not necessarily identifiable from its price. That is only determined when bought and sold. The market dictates and will always dictate the value of Bitcoin and everything else. So I suppose, if it's desired, if people want it, then it's going to go up in value, of course. That's the same with anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Stock, gold, doesn't really matter. So long may it remain desired. What do you think about the intrinsic value of Bitcoin? Let us know in the comments below. So let me know. Let me know what you think about this intrinsic value of Bitcoin and what this is talking about, comparing it to the Marxist idea and Marxism. Okay, but I think it's not a bad article. I think that's made some good points. Certainly makes some good points about what does make it valuable, or what will make it more valuable in the future, I think. Okay, that was just a quick thing about how we've had a sharp decline. I think we've had more than 12 billion off now, so that is old news. I think people are panicking too much anyway. I don't think you need to worry about that. It's just one of them things. Quick thing about the ETFs. So XX says Bitcoin ETF proposals need to fit the SEC's mold. Now, this is actually a pretty good point. Bitcoin ETF proposals are being shot down left and right. One industry insider claims that applicants need to focus on matching the SEC's taste and preferences. The top executive Abra spoke with Boxer on Tuesday, according to CNBC. ETF applicants haven't fit the financial archetype that the US Securities and Exchange Commission is looking for. And he had this following remark. In his own words, I think the issue with the SEC, quite frankly, is that the people who are doing the applications don't fit the mould of who the SEC is used to approving. So it's perhaps a good point there. Maybe you've got to be a little bit on the inside, or not inside as such, but just be in the know and be known in the markets as well. I mean, if you're an unknown, or if the product's an unknown, it's got to be a bit more careful. And you can see why the SEC has got to be careful about its decisions, of course. But if we go down, what does this mean? At the very least, it means falling in line with the norms and standards that SEC has come to expect. So the Abbas guy said it will take an applicant who looks, feels and smells the way the SEC wants him in order for an ETF application to win approval. He suggested that an application from a trusted financial institution would likely win favour with the Commission, more so than a startup or lesser known firm. There's lots more about that in there, there's lots more talking about, well, quite a little bit anyway, if you want to have a look at that. But I think they've got a point about that, maybe can use a third party, employing somebody who could actually do it in a better way. ETFs, though, as you know, I don't know if we need them. I don't think we do necessarily. You know, it's one of the things that will be in the future, and certainly will happen. ETFs will get approved, whether it's now or in the future. It doesn't matter. They will get approved in the future. I'm not really that bothered about them. I think just long-term adoption is something we need. Quickly, something about credits and Lenovo about to join forces in enhancing the Internet of Things, IoT. So it talks about that. If you want to have a look at that, it does mention credits. Credits will utilize their blockchain expertise to help facilitate building software. So Lenovo and credits, they're kind of using together. There's a lot more companies doing this, jumping on the IoT, the Internet of Things, blockchains and stuff like that support it. So if you look at these, you know, Internet of Things, basically anything digital that you've got and it's growing fast, we'll be able to communicate with each other in a better way, safer way. But also you're probably looking at also data, like your own personal data that you can sell and use. You know, it has got value, don't forget. So this is something really important. I think this is where Internet of Things type genres in the blockchain can really work and help with the future of decentralization. I think it's really, really important. Okay, this is the platform itself, credits. If you ever want to have a look at it, have a check over it. You've got to see a bit more about that. Here's another thing about Internet of Things. Monetize everything, linking the Internet of Things to the blockchain, introduce STED. Have a look at this. I haven't got time to mention it now, but there's a couple of companies supported by the SUPAC, Secure and Unified Protocol for Asset Channeling Technology, and the SUPA token. So it's all about, like I was saying, smart devices. Currently 10 billion smart devices out there. They connect into with an expected 45 billion more coming online by 2025, and this will help them to communicate better and help with the kind of monetizing your data as well. This will certainly help with that. Have a look at that because there's a lot of information, but if you haven't, have a look at that. That comes from Blockonomy, and that is something to really, really have a really good read of. I can't do it today, of course, but have a really good read of that. Also, another thing about digital wallet ABBA will allow European customers to purchase crypto with fiat. Now, this one has got about 28 on there, and they do have like atomic swaps and all sorts of stuff. So I think ABBA's got it really good. They're really quite smart. Not the only one, of course, but if you look, there's the 28 cryptos that are on there currently. That has grown from 20 not too long ago. So they've got some really key ones on there. I think I'm in with most of these, if not all of them, just about. There's only be a couple on there that I'm not actually involved in, as in invested in. So have a look at that because there's some fantastic stuff on there. But yeah, they do mention various stuff about it, and they're talking about how the platform's growing and what they're doing and the amount of development they're having. But this ain't the only one. Development is going on all over the place. Absolutely bananas. It's fantastic. Right. I think that's going to have to be me for today because we are running out of time. If you did like this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you have subscribed and you are subscribing, don't forget also, for all this great information you'll get off me, hit that notification bell, because how are you going to know? How are you going to know when I've got new info out? You've got to know about it, haven't you? So get on there, do that. If you have got any comments, good or bad, give me a shout, let me know. You can say it on here, you can send me a message privately. Don't forget I'm also on Twitter, Steam it as well. Check me out on there. Hopefully, guys, I'll be on very soon to give you some more info. Hopefully also, this has been great for you. But I will be speaking to you very soon.